In today's world of AAU and travel and sports specialization, here we are talking to an NBA player, son of an NBA super, and you had a very, very different path to where you are now than what kids are in essence being forced into today.
Right. No, absolutely. And a lot of my friends went through this as well, and I'm sure you saw it too. Burnout. I had this one friend that his dad was pushing him to play basketball he was the best from third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and on all the way until high school. And then all of a sudden, the rest of us kind of caught up, and it's like, man, this kid didn't even want to play anymore because he had already had 15 years of being drilled into that sport. And so, I'm super thankful for how my dad allowed me to just find it, because now, now I can't get enough of it. I feel like I'm still making up for not time lost, but time that I was spent exploring other things. And I feel like, honestly, it makes me I'm thankful for it, because now I have a greater appreciation of soccer. Now that I get more excited about soccer season than I do about basketball. I watch track and know what they're talking about. I watch baseball and know what they're talking about. So I feel like it made me a more rounded athlete as a whole, not just a basketball player, but and again, with my kid, I think I'm going to do the same route. Now, obviously, Larry Nance Jr. in Akron, Ohio, where my dad played for the Cavs, has his jersey retired, held a little bit of weight to it. And, whether I want to name my son the third or not, that's still, I don't know, because of the kind of pressure it put on you when I first picked up the ball. But, it's definitely, it's definitely the route I'm going to take. I'm very appreciative that my dad didn't just stick a ball in my hands and go, nope, that's what we do. We're the Nances. We play ball, and this is what you're going to do this is what you're going to do. I think I might have been a better player, but I don't know if I would have loved it.
I think that's such an interesting take. And I want you to dive a little deeper into it, if you don't mind. Just talk a little bit, obviously sharing the name of your father and living in Ohio under his shadow and kind of in his light, so to speak. When you look back on that, did you at the time feel any extra added pressure when you're a kid walking into the gym in middle school and obviously, in high school, I'm sure it really took it on to another level. Did you feel that pressure growing up in that town with that spotlight, with that name on the back of your jersey? And if so, looking back, I think kids deal with so many different pressures nowadays. It could be who their parent is. It could be expectations of the family. It could be expectations they place on themselves. Kids are dealing with so much stress and pressure, specifically in the world of youth sports. When you reflect back on those early years, how do you view it fondly? Do you take great pride? Are you glad you went through it? Are there bits of it that you could have done without? What is now your reflection as you think back to those years, kind of as you just alluded to?
So for me, growing up, I never really understood the pressure that, early on, I'd walk into a gym and I'd see parents asking my dad for an autograph or asking him pictures. But to me, he was just dad, and was always just dad until high school, when I realized how hard it was to get to that next level. But, for me, I certainly never felt any pressure. I never put any on myself because of it. Now, obviously, you'd walk in some gyms and you'd see parents oh, that's Nance's kid. So-and-so, he's going to be this, he's going to be this. And it's like, dude, I just want to play this game and go play video games. I have no, this doesn't mean, that's just my name. I was born with it. And so, for me, I never put any added pressure on myself, but the outside of pressure, which I can't even imagine, well, for me was, we didn't have any social media or videos or none of that. So the pressure was just whatever individual people wanted to tell you. And now it's I can't even imagine some of the pressure, some of these players' kids are under, just me and my wife talked about it the other day, Bronny James and Bryce, Bron's kids, they are, 17 and 15 or 14 years old, and they are megastars, just from their existence. And I think it's that presents such a unique thing that no kids have ever gone through before. I had my experience growing up as Larry Nance Jr. But again, that's just very localized in Cleveland and Akron, Ohio. These kids are true stars and celebrities at such a young age that, it's such a unique time period in which there can be these kids that have just unfair expectations upon them. I hope they go on to achieve the most incredible. I hope they're the greatest players to ever live. You know what I mean? But it's so hard nowadays with all this outside influence.